following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln and online at merealty.com.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Viewpoint on 96.3 FM. If you got any questions, concerns, we welcome callers to call in at 217-648-5510. And I hear an echo, guys.
I do too. No?
No?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I don't know where that's coming from.
Okay.
All right.
Well, anyway, we're going to keep going with the show as we figure out the little echo. But in Viewpoint fashion, we'd like to do a quick shout out to Bill Gossett. I guess you can say founder of Viewpoint, if you want. He's going to be turning 100 years young, actually on this Saturday, October 28th, and he is going to have an open house birthday party from 1 to 4 at the Congregate building there at the Christian Village in Lincoln. If you can't make it, please send your birthday wishes straight here to the station at P.O. Box 505, Atlanta, 61723. And special announcement, Bill is going to be our guest next week on Viewpoint. So anyway, we're turning the mic over to Breann Titus, not Conradi, as I said earlier this morning. So welcome. So
good morning.
Community Action. So what's going on? I know you guys have lots of things going on. You've got a trunk or treat or a trick or treat going on and different programs, so take it away.
So we stay very, very busy at Community Action. So yes, just as kind of coming up here on October 31st with Halloween coming super soon, our Logan 1 and 3 on Kickapoo Street will be hosting a trunk or treat. So you can come say hi to the Head Start staff, and they will have yummy treats for you and show your costumes off. That will be from 5 to 7 p.m. On Halloween evening, so a safe area to come and do the trick-or-treat. I like how the trunk-or-treats have become more popular. It gives a safe opportunity for kids to be able to participate in Halloween activities, and gives parents a little bit more peace of mind. So that'll be happening at our Kickapoo location on Halloween night from 5 to 7. So
Neat.
Yes, and if you have questions about Head Start, that's a great opportunity to ask those questions. There will be Head Start staff, as I mentioned there. So if you have questions or want to know if we have any openings at that location or one of our other locations in Logan County, definitely ask. They'll be
So
there to
kids
answer
can go
questions.
to Head Start basically any time of the year. They just don't have to start in the fall then,
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
So usually we have our obviously main start. They're just like any other school year. But we do have openings that happen throughout the year. If we have people that move out of the district or they, relocate to a different state or maybe they, go to a different school. So there's lots of flexibility throughout the year. So periodically we do have openings, back 10 years ago plus we had wait list, so you really didn't get an opportunity. Wait lists don't happen as much often now because there's other opportunities for preschool in our area. So but this is a free education that is what I would consider a top-notch early education program that we really focus on the child and the family as a whole. So if you're looking for that type of opportunity for your family and for your child, Head Start is where it's at.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Where's your locations at for Head Start? Refresh my memory.
Yeah, so we have on Kickapoo Street right across from Grawl Chevrolet. That's Logan 1 and 3. We have 2 classrooms there. Logan 2 is at Centennial Courts. And then we also have our Logan Early Head Start, which is your infant to 3. And that one is located inside of Christian Child Care on the other side of the door. So, yeah, so we have several locations here in Logan County.
Neat.
Yes.
That's wonderful. So moving forward, from jumping from Head Start
Yes.
to we've got LIHEAP to talk about.
Yes, it is popular right now at our agency. LIHEAP has started. We are just moving into our second priority period. So this is the first time in 3 years we've had priority period. So it's been a little confusing for some of our customers. A little frustrating, I think, also wondering why they can't get an appointment when they need an appointment. Our first priority period was 60 years and older. Anyone in the household under the age of 6, and anyone that receives disability, SSI or SSA, and that will transition into the second priority period that starts November 1st, so very close here, and that is for anyone that has a disconnect notice or that is disconnected. And some people, we've had a lot of people that called us that said, I'm disconnected, why should I be priority? And unfortunately, we don't have control over that. That's what our funding source tells us to do. So unfortunately, even though they have a disconnect notice, we do require them to wait until after November 1st. And that may not mean that they can call November 1st and get an appointment right away. We have to schedule them an appointment, and we schedule for all 6 counties out of our corporate office, and they're meeting with people every 30 minutes. So it's a quick turnaround. We meet with people Monday through Friday at our Lincoln office. Every 30 minutes, we're meeting with somebody. So we're busting out appointments quickly, but we can only take so many at a time.
Not to put you on the spot, but the 6 counties, what are the 6 counties that it does serve then?
So Logan, Mason, Menard, DeWitt, Fulton, and Payette.
Okay.
And I never say them all in the same order twice. Yes, I have to think in my head where I'm going here. But yeah, so and even though they meet, you'll meet with your LIHEAP person in that county of residence. Every call comes through our corporate office, and one of the reasons why I make a big point to say that is we've had some situations where they're like, I call 2 days in a row and I can't get a hold of anybody. Our phones are extremely busy during LIHEAP season, so just be patient with us. We do have a call queue, so we're trying to get to you as soon as possible, but I want to point out that we have several other ways of communicating with us. We have live chat on our website, so when you have an actual person that you're communicating with during business hours. We have Google Chat that you can go through our Google page and you can message us. We have Facebook Messenger. So we have a lot of electronic options that you can reach out to us as well, not just through the phone. So if you're somebody that's called and called and called and you can't get through on the phone, and you even have a little bit of tech savvy, please go to those other sources, so we're not blocking down the phone line for the ones that really need to call and make an appointment.
What paperwork, what documents do they need to bring in for their appointment? Should they start gathering when they do get their appointment set, not just showing up?
Yes. So they need all Social Security cards for everyone in the household, not just the homeowner or the one that's paying the bill or in the bill's name. They also need last 30-day income for them and everyone in the household. So they'll need to verify all of those, and they'll need their most current utility bill. We have to have all those documents to verify and to complete the appointment. So it just makes it so much easier if you come in for your appointment, you have all of your documents, you're not tracking anything down, and then we can get the appointment done quickly. If you book an appointment through any of those electronic sources, we do send you a list of things that you need to bring. If you're calling and making an appointment, our receptionist will also remind you of what you need to bring.
Wonderful.
Yes.
How many families, off the top of your head, and if you don't know, I understand, last year did LIHEAP help out?
So I can tell you agency-wide, we help about 8,000 individuals a year.
Wow.
And that can be multiple services. That can also be just individual services. A large chunk of our customers are receiving multiple services from us at one time. So they come in for LIHEAP, and we talk to them about maybe financial literacy, or we talk to them about rental assistance, or we talk to them about Head Start. So when they come in for LIHEAP, that's really when we get our opportunity to tell them what other services we have available to help them in other sources of their life. Same thing with Head Start. If we have a Head Start family that's struggling, we can talk to that family and say, hey, have you looked into our LIHEAP assistance? Have you looked into this opportunity? To try to help them as a whole, because the goal is to help them while that child is in school. So by the time the child gets old enough, they kind of break that cycle. And so we do try to help the family as a complete unit. So a lot of them are receiving multiple services.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's neat. So is there still I hear Meals on Wheels. Are we still doing
Yes.
Meals on Wheels?
Yes,
So
Meals on Wheels is a huge program. We have about 200 customers that we service in Logan and Mason County, and we deliver 3 days a week, but they receive 5 meals. So they are getting enough meals for the week. We also do periodically give them an extra bag of pantry stable items that they can keep at home in case they can't get out or they're extra hungry, or whatever that may be. And we have a kitchen that is at our central location here in Lincoln that makes all those meals and gets those out. We have basically one full-time and a half person, a part-time person
to do all those
that
meals.
does all those meals.
Wow.
Yes. And with the holidays coming up, and us being closed periodically during the holidays, our Meals on Wheels program does a Blizzard bag donation, and they actually send them with juices, crackers, fruit, milk, different soup options that they can have just to keep during the winter months in case they need. And we still deliver. We deliver in every weather possible to get those meals to our customers. But it's kind of nice for them to have extras just in case we can't get to them for some reason or it's a holiday. And stay tuned to our Facebook page because we'll be posting information about that soon. We're doing an Amazon wish list this year where people can go on and purchase an item that we need for those Blizzard bags, and it gets delivered right to our office.
Oh, neat.
So you don't have to worry about going to get it, and you don't have to worry about bringing it to us. So
That's neat. That's
we'll
nice
post
and
that on our
handy.
social media soon.
Are you still looking for volunteers to help deliver Meals on Wheels to?
We can always add volunteers. We have 2 full-time people that deliver meals, but with 200 people, that's a big job. And so a local church member, she's been doing it forever. She is with St. John's United Church of Christ. Her and her husband did it as a mission, and he has since passed away, but she has continued going with this. And she organizes church members from local churches to help volunteer and deliver meals. But I know they're always looking for extra people. They try to keep it to where they're doing it maybe once a month, and they're not doing it every single week.
Right.
So the more people they have, the more opportunity they can spread it out.
Need.
Yeah.
I know I volunteered years ago, and it's a lot of. I think it's fun going out and seeing everybody and being there. So
Yeah, well, and sometimes you're the only face they see.
right. You're absolutely
you know,
right.
which is sad, but something that we assure families that aren't around here, maybe families that don't live local to their elderly, grandmother or whatnot, is that we do a wellness check while we're there. We check in on them. We make sure that they're feeling okay. We make sure that they have what they need. And unfortunately, we've found situations where we've had to call emergency services for them. We've had to call the ambulance to come and get them. We found them, had fallen or whatnot. So we've had some situations that have they've needed our assistance at that time. So we always make sure that they're getting the smile that they need. They may be the only person they see every week, and make sure that they're feeling okay and doing okay on their own before we have to call emergency services.
So what's the age requirements to start receiving Meals on Wheels?
60 years and older.
Okay.
There is no income requirement. They do an assessment just to ask specific questions to get an idea of their ability. Can they cook on their own? Do they cook on their own, etc. But 60 years and older, and there is also some flexibility because we do congregate locations as well. So if someone, we do a congregate at Centennial Courts, for example. So if someone lives at Centennial Courts but does not meet the age requirement, they can still participate in our Meals on Wheels services. Or if they have a spouse in the house that is under the age of 60, they can also participate if we're already delivering to the household. So there is some flexibility there, but the main number is 60.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. What other volunteers are you needing? I know I brought up volunteers. What about volunteers for? Do you still need teachers, or not volunteers for Head Start, or are you needing help with that? What do you guys need there in that?
So we have a foster grandparent program that we're definitely looking for volunteers here in Logan County. That is specific to persons that are 55 years or older, and they work in the classroom. So they assist with at least 4 children on a consistent basis, work extra with them, kind of as an extra mentor, extra set of hands to the teachers, and they work anything from our infant classrooms all the way up to our 4- and 5-year-old classrooms. So we definitely have some openings in Logan County, and they receive a tax-free stipend for their time. So if somebody's on a fixed income, this is a little bit of a supplement for them, and it's tax-free, so they don't have to consider it income, and therefore it doesn't mess with any of their other sources of income, which is kind of nice. And there is an application process that goes with that. There is a background check that needs to be completed, obviously working with children, but definitely have openings here. And then, we have openings in our Head Start classrooms. So if you are somebody that's looking for employment and you want to work with kids, or maybe you have a teaching background, please go to our website and look at our openings, because we need to fill those spots so we can continue our classrooms.
Neat. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So you just had an auction last week, and Jim had you on the radio talking about that. So kind of lead into that. Why did you have the auction? Were you just cleaning house? Did you close a program?
Yeah.
Tell the listeners, kind of refresh their memory on that.
Yes. So we, every August, we do a strategic planning retreat. And it is all of our leadership team, and we get together and we look at all kinds of data. We look at impact reports, we assess our programs, how well they're doing, maybe areas of improvement, and we look at their high viability. We look at if they're high impact, if they're low impact. We just look at a lot of different things. And sometimes out of that strategic planning comes hard decisions. And one of the decisions we made this year was to close our food pantry. So as we've talked before on the air, our food pantry was very different than other food pantries in our area. It was a volunteer food pantry. So if someone volunteered with our agency, they earned a shopping pass to get items that they needed for their household. So it was very different. They couldn't just come up to our food pantry and get food on a consistent basis. We did do emergency boxes, but they were limited. And we had a lot of people that did not want to do the volunteer part. So we just were not making an impact like we had initially thought when we created the program. It was taking a lot of staff time, a lot of money in salaries and wages, a lot of money in keeping the utility bills going with all the freezers and fridges and all of that in all of our locations. And we had 5 food pantries in 5 counties. And we had a part-time person that literally went to every county. They did basically all day Monday, all day Tuesday, and Wednesday. We also had to go to Midwest to pick up food. So it was a lot of time, and it was a hard job. So we just decided that there was other resources in the community that could continue to meet that need. We also do a community assessment where community members fill out our survey and tell us what they need. As far as the community and the customers, food was not high on the list as a need for them. Now, when you look at the stakeholders and people of our community that fill it out, we put food higher at the list. Right. But our actual customers, it was like number 5.
Really? What did they list then on their
housing, childcare? A lot of it was finances. But looking at it, we had, I think, as stakeholders, we had food at maybe the 2nd on the list.
Wow. And
customers had it 5th on the list. So, the fact that our customers are looking at it going, well, food really isn't that much of a need for us. We're going, well, where is our brain? Because we think it's higher than that. So then we looked at that too and realized that, because we have Lincoln Logan Food Pantry, and there's a food pantry at Jeff Street, and there's food pantry here and there, that we said every community that we're in has other resources for food. And so we decided that money that we were spending on our food pantry was more impactful in other areas. One of those being client assistance, helping our customers either with their GED cost, college education, helping them with rental assistance. Sometimes even if they get a job at, Precision and they need work boots that they can't afford, we buy the work boots for them so they can actually get a job, or scrubs or things like that. So we felt like that money could be used better in other areas, and that's where all this equipment came from. So we had so many pieces of 5 food pantries.
Right. I looked at the site. I mean, you're at Havana, you're at Petersburg, you're at Clinton. Of course, in Lincoln.
Yes.
So how did the auction go? I got outbidded a couple of times.
Yeah, it's so fun. This program that we use for this bidding site happened during COVID for Cheeseburger to make it a little bit easier to do our silent auction, and we've been able to use it for so many different other things. So it's kind of fun because you kind of get outbid, and they get to tell you if you're outbid, and it kind of gets the competition going. But everything sold. And again, it was more of those things where we could have gotten fair market value for things, but we just wanted to offload it, bring a little bit more back money into the agency to support some of our other programs. So it wasn't a big money maker for us, but we were able to offload all the equipment. People were able to get a great deal.
Yeah.
We were able to get donations to the agency, so it worked out perfect.
It was a win-win. I love the shelving units you guys had.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I know. My mom actually got a few of those shelving units. I think she regretted how many she got after the fact.
And I'm looking like, okay, so if I bid on this one in Havana, then I have to go over to Petersburg and get those if I win. So
I think she's got a couple in Petersburg that she's got to pick up. So she's like, man, I got to go to Petersburg now. So you don't think about that. You get in the excitement of the auction and you're like, oh, now I got to drive to Monticello.
Right, because I remember you talking to Jim about that on the radio. Watch the, where the location. And I was like, oh, that's in Clinton. Okay, wait a minute.
Yes, I know. I made sure. I even put it on each record, but I know some people kind of overlook that. So that's why I wanted to make sure to make that point. Like, pay attention to what you're bidding on because you have to go pick it up.
You have to do the driving.
Yeah. But it was a success. And like I said, we were able to offload that equipment to have more space in our buildings and still be able to bring in some donations that will go to the programs that most need it. And, when I talk on the air before about donations and unrestricted donations, the reason we really stress the unrestricted side of donations is because our needs change so much. And when it comes in unrestricted, we have the ability to push that money into the program that needs it the most at that particular time. Once it comes in as restricted and it's earmarked for a particular program, it cannot go anywhere else. Right. And so we understand that a lot of times people are going, oh, well, I want to donate to Meals on Wheels. I want to donate to transportation. I want to donate to the food pantry. We love that. We don't want to discourage that because maybe you're doing it in honor of somebody, so we love that. But honestly, the best way to donate to a nonprofit is to donate it unrestricted. Just donate to the agency as a whole,
and just trust them that they're going to push it to get it where it has to go.
Absolutely. And if you're somebody that really is interested in how well we manage our finances as an agency, all of our audits, everything is public. All of that's on our website. So you'll be able to go through our audit. You'll be able to look at our fiscal summary. You'll be able to look at our agency-wide budget and be able to see how we manage our finances in-house. So if you're somebody that's interested in that, to kind of go, well, I want to see if I can trust them. That all is public knowledge. It's all public information. We post it on our website for you to look at. And so that gives us the ability to say, okay, hey, transportation is needing extra money to send somebody to cancer treatment in Springfield. Let's pull this money from this unrestricted donation and take somebody to Springfield. One in particular I want to speak of is with the state and federal, budgets. With the federal government right now, not super sure if we're going to have a federal budget. That affects our grants. That affects when money comes to us. So if there's delays in funding, we either have to have in-house funding or donations that we can push to that program in order to utilize that funding and keep that program going, or we have to suspend services. And we don't want to do that.
Yeah, you mentioned transportation. Kind of touch on that for our listeners.
Yes.
How old do you have to be to use the transportation? Do you, like you said, Springfield, can they go to the doctor?
Yes.
Can Community Action? So what all can Community Action do for transportation in Logan County?
So we do prioritize our seniors. So 60 years and older takes priority over anyone else. We can transport people under the age of 60, but like I said, if we have a senior that needs to get to a critical medical appointment, they are going to take priority. Everything is on demand. There's no route. So if you need to go to the doctor, we're going to pick you up at your house. house. We're going to take you straight to the doctor, and then we're going to pick you up and take you straight home. You don't have to ride a circle until we get to your house. It is donation based, so if somebody cannot afford to pay a one-way trip or a round trip, we still transport them. A lot of our people will do like a monthly donation instead of having their $3 every time they get on the bus. They'll do a monthly donation, or a weekly donation to kind of support some of that cost. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we do most of our local trips in Logan and Mason County. A lot of our clients are dialysis patients, getting them back and forth to dialysis. My grandmother was one that lived in Hartsburg and had to come to dialysis 3 days a week. And when you have either family that lives out of town or is working, how do you get to dialysis on your own if you can't drive yourself? So that was a peace of mind for our family to know that they were picking her up safely in Hartsburg. They were taking her to dialysis and taking her home. And they're making sure that she's good to go home, making sure that she doesn't need to stay in Lincoln a little bit longer. So it's not just city, it's county. If you live in the county of Logan County, we will come and get you. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays is that when we leave our opportunity for out of town trips. So if you need to go to Springfield, if you need to go to Bloomington, if you need to go to the VA hospital, we have days available for you to be able to get to those places. We do charge a fee for out-of-town trips. It's a lot to cover the cost of gas, to cover the cost of our driver, to cover the cost of
the
just
insurance
maintenance.
too, just driving. Yes. All of that is in play. So yeah.
And so one of the things we're doing is we've done a donation campaign, worked with some local churches for specific out-of-town trips. We're writing grants for that, trying to overcome some of that cost, because a round trip is $150, and not a lot of people can afford that. It is cheaper than a lot of other opportunities or other options in the community. Even a taxi, it's cheaper than taking a taxi, and we stay in town and wait for you to get done. So rather than us driving you to Springfield, dropping you off, and you have to wait for us to come back, we stay in town to come and get you when you're done.
How many buses or vans or transportation units, I should say, is the best word?
It's a great question. I think we have 3 buses that are ADA accessible. Typically, those are ones that have the lift on them. If we have somebody in a wheelchair or something that we have to lift into the vehicle. And then we have a couple vans. Everything is ADA accessible. It just depends on, we always ask when they schedule the appointment, do you use a wheelchair? Do you have a scooter? What do you have that we need to accommodate for, so we know which vehicle we need to take at any given time.
And they just call the main number there.
We actually have a separate number for transportation, but either way you can call whatever number. But the transportation number is 732-1056, and that gets you straight to our dispatcher. They'll schedule you an appointment. Even if you're saying, "Hey, I'm done, come pick me up," they call that number, and then we'll get a driver out to you.
Oh, wonderful!
Yeah.
Wonderful. Is there anything else you want to touch on or highlight or can think of?
The only thing I want to mention real quickly is Work Camp for Lincoln. That is happening in June of 2024. However, as long as that seems very far away, we do have applications open right now. So if you
what
are
is that
somebody,
exactly then?
It's the 16th through the 22nd of June.
But what is Work Camp?
Yeah, so it is a mission trip. We partner with a place called Group Missions, and they do home repair camps. So these are either junior high or high school kids that sign up. They pay money to come and work on people's houses.
Really?
And we did this in 21, and it was a super big success. We're excited to bring it back. And so people apply that need home repair, whether that be painting, external, internal house, or interior, porch repair. They need a wheelchair ramp built. So it is kids that are being supervised by volunteer contractors, so they're learning a skill as youth, but we also stress that it is done by kids, so understand that. But they come in for 1 week and they work on as many houses as they can. The goal is 50 to 60 this round. It's usually about 400 kids that come in, and they have a site coach, they have somebody that is kind of a contractor by trade that comes in and teaches them the skills. So there is an adult present, and they do home repairs. They get to know the residents. They beautify our town. They, people that can't afford it, it's all free to the resident. And it's been an amazing experience. Last time we had Karen Elaine from Good Bones come, and not only was she just here as a celebrity, what we would consider, she was a site coach. She had an all-girl crew. She brought her overalls, she brought her tools, and she worked on a site the whole week.
Neat.
With the girls. It was amazing. So, like I said, we're accepting applications right now. So if you are somebody that wants to be involved and you have need for home repair, please go to our website, fill out the application. You must be a homeowner. That's the biggest key. You must be a homeowner. Fill out the forms so we know that you're interested, and then we will send out an assessor to come out and look at the property to make sure the home repairs that you're asking is what we are able to do, because again, they are kids, and that will happen in June. So
are a lot of the kids local then, or
most of them are out of town. So
really?
Normally, a lot of youth groups are like, we want to go somewhere cool. We don't want to stay in our hometown. Mm-hmm. We did have the all-girl crew from last year, or for 21, was all from Lincoln, which was kind of exciting. They still paid the same amount of money, but a lot of them come from all over. And Todd Henry is kind of my partner in crime for this project, and he has been with group missions for over 20 years and has gone all over, from Native American reservations to different states all over the country, and helped with these work camps. So he's super knowledgeable, and he kind of is my boots on the ground guy here, and I'm the fundraising girl. So we kind of tag team that, but I'm the grant writer, and he's the one that's kind of out in the community spreading the message. So
neat. Do the kids get housed in local hotels there? Or?
So actually, they stay at the high school, kind of like roughing it, I guess.
They're camping it out.
So they got lucky in 21. They got to stay in the dorms at Lincoln Christian College or university, so they kind of got lucky that time. But normally they stay in a high school. It's kind of like a barracks. They kind of just like load up a whole bunch of cots and stuff in the gymnasium, and that's where they stay. But there's usually like a Sunday night, they do a big dinner to welcome them, and then Wednesday they'll do some type of entertainment. It is faith-based, so there's a lot of faith opportunities that go along with it. But the other times of the day, they are on the site and they are working long days trying to get these projects complete.
That is neat.
Yes.
That is really neat.
Yeah.
So,
That's very cool.
Well, we appreciate you coming in, or coming to the Radio Ranch, as I call it. So,
Radio Ranch.
Radio Ranch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, our little spin on it. But no, we greatly appreciate it. And folks, if you want to call out to Community Action, if you're hurt, if you have any questions about LIHEAP, Breann, what's that phone number that they need to call?
Yeah, 732-2159 is our main office here in Lincoln. They can help you with any county's questions, any program's questions. They'll get you to the right place. I definitely recommend our website, which is CAPCIL.info, CAPCIL. All the programs we talked about today are there, as well as a little video about Work Camp for Lincoln if you're interested in looking at that. And then also our social media. Search Community Action on Facebook. You'll find us. It's updated daily. That's the most current news.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, thank you. Thank you, folks, for tuning into Viewpoint. The Lord, weather willing, we'll be back next week.
This live video stream is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.